profit for the national governments, according to the national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize of the constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses, or mistreat citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to the state of mind of their forefathers, divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens according to their free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them. There's but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine national movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens ballot at the polls under the free national constitution, the states and government, and not under a granted privilege. You who you who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government and ask them under intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply. See me bring you out of darkness into light. Money doesn't make the man. It is the free national standards and power that makes a man a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce belong to the citizens alone. And without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no hereby citizens that stand for our national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me, because I need all support. I need all support from all true American citizens. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. I am dependent on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. I love my people, and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national and divine standard, because day by day, they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of the government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. In all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principle, citizen of government, you must claim your national descent name because they placed their trust formed by their forefathers. The word Negro alludes in the Latin language to the word nigger, the same as the word color alludes to anything that is painted, varnished, and dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because all of thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said not that are recognized national government in which they live. The 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and the South in unit, placing the Southerners, who were at the time without power, with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was in force since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there's no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of our people and citizens. So there isn't but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost, and that is through the above statements. Then the lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if above principles are not carried out by the citizens and my people in this government, the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by many people, and his great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. And I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of government, being more genius citizens that believe in the free national constitutional and laws, and through the help such as I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good, but have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, am here by calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way, and without understanding, they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin, and there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc., in the present condition of their endeavorment, in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. They will not refrain from their sinful ways of action, of their deeds, and that brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought for all these great misuse. But I have traveled to the South, and I have examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. I'm hereby calling on a true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light. From the prophet, Islam.
Islam. Peace and love to more Benjamin Bay. Peace and love to Narayana G. Bay.
Peace and love, Morris.
Peace and love to Brother Hassan. Oh, he just came in here, actually. Oh, yeah, peace and love, Brother Hassan.
Peace and love, man.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Divine Constitution of Moorish America. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of Moorish America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before citizens of Moorish America. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7. And love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended into his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. And no citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Islam. So where we left off, well, not necessarily left off, but the vein that we were in last week, covering the concepts of, an order, adept level, a council, um, a society of higher ups compared to the general population, and how these things came about. And we talked about last week also seeing who's ready to receive, not, casting pearls among swine, so to speak. And this is, how these orders got established, because our own people just saw, okay, he got the light, he's serious, he got adept information. Okay, now it's a bunch of us. Let's create government structure. It becomes an adept chamber, right? So I'm going to read this. This is a quote from a book, The Origin and Evolution of Freemasonry, Connected with the Origin and Evolution of the Human Race, by Albert Churchward. Miss Kingsley states, quote, every West African tribe has a secret society. Every free man has to pass through the secret society of his tribe. If during this education, the elders of the society discover that a boy is what is called a Calabar or a Buptuk, a person who can see spirits, they advise that he should be brought up to the medical profession. The old Hershista, or wise men of Egypt, and we already covered Egypt as a misnomer, Tamaray. The wise men of the land of the Moors, the elder Moors with wisdom, indicated that man may become co-worker with both nature and divinity on these higher planes if he will. He may sit in the councils of destiny and help to shape the progress of the race. The councils of destiny, the wise Moors, the adepts, the high priests, the think tank, plotting and planning, forecasting on government structure, how to help the people, organization, departments, who's best fit to do what based on their natural gifts, i.e., their zodiac sign. A plethora of things, right? He may sit in the councils of destiny and help shape the progress of the race, or he may crawl like a worm and be trodden under the foot till through misery and pain he struggles to the light. We got to get to the light. Some people get to the light faster than others. Some people are here to lay a demonstration down so our people that are struggling can get to the light. We are our brother's keeper. Stolen legacy. Consequently, European Masons took a blood oath to never reveal to the children of the Moors who they truly were. Azim Hopkins Bey quotes in his book, which your history books fail to tell you, unquote. Nevertheless, this truth was revealed in the phenomenal book Stolen Legacy by George G. James, stating the Moors were the custodians or the protectors of ancient Tamaray or Egypt or Kemet, mysteries called Haka, or teachings of Tahuti. And that's where you get the Hermetic principles. When you get the Kabbalion, you're going to see, as a matter of fact, it pops off by saying Abraham got taught the science by Tahuti. It actually says that in the preface. So Hermetic principles is more science and the philosophy of Abraham. I'm saying that with emphasis for a reason. Furthermore, he states in the 8th century AD, the Moors, i.e., natives of Mauritania and North Africa, invaded Spain and took with them the Egyptian culture, which they had preserved. Knowledge in the ancient days was centralized. It belonged to a common parent and system, i.e., the wisdom teaching or mysteries of Egypt. In addition, the Moors kept up constant contact with Mother Egypt. Therefore, modern Freemasonry's largest debt is owed to the Moors. The Moors lifted the European Albions out of the age of darkness and sparked the Renaissance movement. Freemasonry took its secret wisdom from the Muslim culture of the Moors. And we went through a demonstration last week where Larry Bay was like, because it was Muslim, right? Muslim, and then it was all we saw was Muslim, and it was also Muslim, M-U, with emphasis on the U, right? And then the land of Mu. So that's a different perspective than just the traditional Muslim. Like that's taken into the little, that makes you think with, okay, this was a people. It was a people. It was Muslims and Muslims before Prophet Muhammad, before the modern day situation, right? So we're talking about culture distinguished from modern day religion. The Ismaili assassins. Okay, so let's pause right here. If I got it queued up, I think I still got that queued up because I looked up the Ismaili assassins. And if I don't got it queued up, I'm just not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that depth. But look up whoever got a phone or whatnot. Look up Ismaili assassins, and when y'all find it, just bring it to the chat so we can just discuss it. But in summary, it was a group of basically muftis of the nation state. And that's where they get the word assassin from, as well as smoking cannabis. You had more that smoke cannabis before they got into to prepare for battle. And if you look up the etymology of assassin, it's gonna take you to a word called hashish. And we know that's hash and PAC and stuff, but that's just a side note. So there's mainly assassins passed on their mysteries to Europe, Knights Templar, Freemasonry, and various other secret societies. Moorish science is and has remained the foundation of all secret societies. It was under the influence of Arabian and Moorish revival of culture, writes Robert Brifroff in The Making of Humanity, and not in the 15th century, that the real Renaissance took place. Spain, and not Italy, was the cradle of the rebirth of Europe. After sinking lower and lower in barbarism, it had reached the darkest depths of ignorance and degradation when the cities of the Saracenic, or they try to say Saracen world, was Baghdad, Cairo, Cordova, Toledo, were growing in centuries of civilization and intellectual activity. It was there that the new life rose, which was to grow in a new phase of human evolution. From the time when the influence of their culture made itself felt, began the stirring of a new life. With the end of Moorish rule in Spain, the Europeans began to colonize Africa, Asia, and the Americas. In time, European Christians conquered Muslim territories, and the great debt Western civilization owed to the Moors was quickly forgotten. By the 18th century, European Christians saw themselves as the predestined rulers of the world with a divine mission to civilize the heathen, or anybody not, people that are not down with Catholicism. Western historians conveniently ignored the immense contribution of the brilliant and energetic Moorish civilization in delivering Europe from medieval barbarism, right? The Great Plagues, we taught them how to bathe, the whole nine. The Age of Enlightenment was a direct correlation of what the Moors brought to the table. We can only conclude this is a result of the pride and presumption of Westerners, which prevent them from recognizing the truth or importance of their debts to the East. And that's a quote from the book Masons and the Moors. But keep in mind, we have 360 degrees of information. They're going to be like the Moors in the East, as if the Moors originated from the East. Right? So we already know the Olmecs and all that's over here. Oldest pyramid is over here. So keep these things in mind when you're reading books like this. Certain books are going to make it seem like North Africa. And I have to keep stressing that, as if North Africa is not the Americas, ancient North Africa, Northwest Africa at that. Peace and love, work. Not sure who work is, but peace and love, you made it in here. It's divinely prepared. Orientalist Stanley Lane Poole acknowledged the great impact Moorish civilization had on Europe when he wrote, quote, Moors of Spain and Moors after Spain. Also study Imam Mustafa al-Admin definitive books titled Freemasonry, Ancient Egypt, and the Islamic Destiny, and Islam, Christianity, and Masonry. So these are actually books. Whoever asks about what book should I get, what book, we just dropped like 4 references. Whoever trying to get, but peace of love, Brother Cali. Yeah, whoever talking about what literature can I get, what book, we just screenshot something, take, we just, it's 4 books we just went over. Heavy ones. Heavy books. Let me know if I'm glitching too, because Wi-Fi kind of off today. All right, so another one, analyzing Freemasonry from a Muslim and Islamic perspective. Moreover, Professor Jose Pimenta Bay, PhD, said in one of his videos, Othello's Children in the New World, stated that originally Prince Hall Masons were known as Moorish Rite Masons. And with this said, written, our Supreme Grand Commander, Alim Bey El. So we got the Moorish rites distinguished from the Scottish rites. Moorish rite is a
I have a
Moorish.
question,
Oh yeah, go
or
ahead.
maybe like a perspective to add.
So if we looking at it from like a grand perspective, and we seeing that like different organizations basically spawn the nations. Because if you're looking at the Knights Templar and you look at what they reflect on a lower, on a lower plane in their government structures, it'd be like Rome. It'd be like their structures, the Vatican, all the old ancient world stuff that they kind of took from us. So my basically perspective to add on is asking, is the proper way to look at it is that nation states are born from mystery schools?
So people with nationalities create organizations. These organizations become nation states. Amongst the organization, it's a couple of people, a handful amongst those people that are referred to as adept. So that they will that's just a natural thing. You can just see that, like, okay, who's the most competent amongst us? Who's the most competent amongst us? Boom, that's that. We're gonna elect that person to do X, Y, Z. Boom. We call them sheiks. We call them, emirs. We call them caliphs. We call them, sultans. Depending on how big the pool is of the people,
Right.
then we can start electing more positions, of course. But that's pretty much what it is.
Because even like the brother right there, he got the name Altair Kael. And if you played Assassin's Creed, it's the same sort of situation where you could see how the organizations are led by these elected officials in these groups, and they go around making things happen for the Albions.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right though. However you're looking at it, that's what we need to do. It starts as, you know, in our case, we don't know our culture, so we're teaching it very.
Yeah, education becomes one of our primary focuses instead of like they have politics, military expeditions they're trying to do.
But that's what comes with it. Most people, even right now, most nation states, like you go to the East, they have a military, they have government structure. The people of the land are the public officials, they're the mayors or the governors. You go to Japan, you go to China, you go to Korea, they have a Korean army, they have a Japanese army, they have their prime minister or whatever they call them, the elected officials is of that land. Right. So, but like I say, in America, our people are severely asleep. So we have to teach them culture first. Then once our people get that, now it's organization second. And then within that organization, you're going to have always a missionary aspect where people are going to be boots on the ground in different areas, letting people know about their nationality, birthright, and that adds to the pool. Because now the pool is getting bigger and bigger. Now we can get government structure going. Now we can, pool our money together.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. You got it.
But that's how like Catholics, when they were going on their conquistador conquest, they would use missionary work to basically, as their way, their gateway to like not even to have an understanding of the people and to introduce education and culture.
Yeah, you got to have it. You have to have ambassadors. And it's basically saying I'm saying missionary work, but it's equivalent to saying ambassador of a nation state. Well, that's when Noble Joe Ali saying being active, not passive. That's what he's saying. It's like it don't stop. It's for life. You're always when you step out the house, you're an ambassador. It starts. You in your official capacity. It just starts as soon as you leave the house. Because somebody could come to you, they're gonna hit you with the questions, especially if you're highly melanated in the Americas, turban, fez, anything of that nature, they're gonna have some questions for you. They're gonna think it's a wide range too, man. They might ask you, are you a prince? They might ask you, to get, can you do a tarot reading for them? They might they might ask you I got all type of stuff, man, since I've been in the light, man, but you definitely the noble.
But you acting as your national,
Yeah.
you're acting as your national capacity, and that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
I see it. Thank you. That's all I gotta say.
Yep. And then not only that, you wanna once you wake somebody up, let them know where they can come join, come to the temple. That's the whole thing. You want to connect them with a network, a community. And any other thoughts, statements, comments?
Yeah, Islam.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
Brother Mafia. The brother Albert. How do you? What was his last name and how you spell it? The brother Albert that
Albert?
wrote the book. Yeah. What
Oh,
was his last name? How you
which
spell it?
book? I quoted for like 4 books. Which book?
I think it was the first one you named by Albert. I forgot the guy's last name.
Oh. You talking about this one up here? Stanley Lane.
Yeah. You mentioned Albert, but you said his last name quick. I was trying to get his last name so I can get that book. I know his first name was Albert.
Albert. I don't see an Albert.
Albert Churchward. I got it
Yeah,
now.
yeah. How
It's
you spell
Albert
that?
Churchward. I'll put it in the chat.
All right. Appreciate that, Islam.
Where y'all seeing this at? Albert?
It's
Yeah,
under the evolution of the African origin and evolution of
the first book.
Freemasonry under the, I think it's the Afro human race. Yeah. Let me see.
Oh,
The
my bad.
origin
Okay.
evolution of Freemasonry
Okay.
connected with the origin and evolution of
Yeah.
human race.
Here we go. All right. Yeah, it was the first thing. I guess it was so fast. I'm like, I didn't
That's
expect
what
him
I'm
to go
saying. It
back
was
to
so
that.
quick. I couldn't catch it.
Yeah, I guess because I was like way in the beginning. I didn't expect you were talking about, so you had that in your pocket for a minute there. You couldn't wait to ask that then. I was like,
I
oh,
did.
30 minutes.
I did. I did.
That's what's up. Not good stuff, man.
Oh,
You own it. Yeah, okay, yeah. So all these references, man, whoever looking for more literature to go and more in depth, we got 1 book, we got 2 books, 3 books, 4 books, 5 books. So yeah, we got 5 books that y'all can add to your library. Any other thoughts, statements? Somebody else was next, or some? I feel like somebody gonna say something else.
Yeah, I just kind of had like a more so like a thought and a statement.
Okay.
For the future I actually got like 2 questions, and the first question goes back to the divine constitution. In the beginning, it was read. Noble Drew Lee had put in that divine, I believe, the divine constitution, something about being able to go to the voting polls and vote. And I was just kind of wondering that, I'm not nationalized yet, but I plan to be, inshallah. But I would think, why would we want to go to the polls and vote if and uplift the United States? I'm not really understanding that. Like,
Oh, well,
I'm not really understanding how there's like there's a bad taste in the mouth about masonry, but then we see where the origins come from. But then like we want to uplift the United States and we want to vote on their polls, and we want the United States to be the best place on the land or in the amongst all governments or something. I'm not really understanding. It's like a conflict of interest.
you talking
It's
about the
like,
divine warning?
yeah, like wouldn't we be just focusing on our government and our national body, and to piggyback on that as well, because if we're saying that, masonry was delivered to Europeans through our ancient mystic schools as well, wouldn't we want to conserve our knowledge or also be able to reflect the same principles of rituals and passwords and things of that nature to, because from what I'm hearing, it sounds like we chose selected few out of the tribe to preserve the knowledge, you know,
Um,
to keep the knowledge sacred and to keep it protected. So one, I guess my question, just in a nutshell, my question is, are we in support of the United States? And why are we voting? And then two, wouldn't we want to eventually see our what we hold as sacred back into kind of like in a safe place, because we've already witnessed historically once we've given that light away.
Mm, mm,
Peace.
okay.
That's
All right,
deep,
so
bro.
I'm gonna answer. It was 4 parts or 3 parts. I'm gonna break it down. First, let me check the chat. Let me see. It's on inheritance. Peace, true. Okay.
Questions.
All right. So let's address the polls part first. So this is the portion that you're talking about. Um, divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under a free national constitution of the state's government and not under a granted privilege, which has been the existing condition for many generations. So the 14th Amendment, uh, the reason he's saying that, because 14th Amendment, when you look it up today, that's a naturalization to become a United States citizen. So when you go down, he's saying the 14th and 15th Amendment is not necessary for the salvation. Is not necessary. So he's not saying become a U.S. citizen. When you look up free national government in the Black's Law Dictionary, especially the older ones, 1 through 4, it's going to say what's a free national government? An organization of people that share the same nationality, and it says it's synonymous with a state. So that's one thing. He's not saying be a U.S. citizen. And another thing, this was in the 20s. When you go to Noble Drew Ali's literature, he talks about registering, right? And I'm reading this just for context purposes. The 3,000 Muslims, we're dealing with Chicago right now. We're reading something about, because he had 3,000 plus more than just in the Chicago temple. The 3,000 Muslims of the Grand Temple and the West Side Temple are making ready to register every man or woman in order to take the lead for the various candidates whom they have instructed to vote for. So Noble Drew Ali gave instructions to the Moors. What happened is he put a Moor in office. Oscar the Priest, at this time, he was a Republican congressman, but he was a Moor sent stealthily, right? Like how the mob send children to become police officers, but they really work for the mob. That's a kind of not the same example. I'm just showing it's not that's the best example I can give right now. But he sent somebody stealthily in their system, and he got elected. The Moors elected him, enforced free national law. He enforced that divine constitution I read. He was enforcing that. Moors got a nationality. This is a nation of people that go back to the empire. We got sultans. Oscar the Priest was with that. So the Moors went to the national polls to make a vote. That's why I say, even right now, if it was 1,000 Moors, I forget right now, this is the 20s. He had 3,000 Moors in i.e. Chicago. So those Moors controlled the constituency of that area, the votes. The Moors were the majority
Right.
this time. So whoever they put in office, the trustee is going to work for the Moor, right? So that's the mind frame of the prophet in the 20s, right? Um, And then this picture, we went over this picture before right here. When you look up here, you're gonna see Oscar the Priest again, next to the prophet. This was a national convention. And this picture don't do no justice. This picture is cropped. It was a lot more people than this. This is probably a third of the picture. So Noble Drew Ali had all of Chicago, Fez, and turbaned up. The politics, the elections of any mayors in that area.
They look.
Say that again. Whoever said that.
My bad. I just said they look cold. Like,
Oh, yeah. See?
and
And look,
they just look cold.
but look back to the who's here? Who is this? What's going on here? We got Louis B. Anderson, alderman for the second ward. We got Daniel Jackson for the second ward. You got the commerce commissioner for Illinois. You got the president of the state bank of Illinois. You got Oscar the Priest, a Republican candidate for Congress. You got aldermen, so you got congressmen. It's more. It's probably like 4 city officials. So when he's saying go to City Hall with an intelligent tone, it's because he did it. And he wasn't saying that U.S. citizen.
But wouldn't
Man,
Okay.
those
Okay,
would it be
basically,
unnatural to assume that some of those people on that list are Masons? I
No,
know
because nobody always saying Moorish American. And no fezzes is marked. All these are plain fezzes. And
No. I know that. I'm saying as far as the city officials and the judges and people because these aren't babies who he raised up himself, and they're already in elected positions. You understand what I'm saying?
you're right, but can I say something? Like what the Noble was saying in his literature was like, if we all had a stand in politics and things of that nature, this is what will come about. You understand what I'm saying? I feel what you're saying. It does sound like, you know what I'm saying, go vote for what structure that we against or whatever that's against us. Moabites. That's not what he's saying. He was looking in the sense in the 1920s, like we had people in place in Congress. We had people in positions of power that were Moors. You feel me? Then that type of thing can happen on a grand scale. That's what I get from it. I get what you're saying, and I see where you would think that he's saying kind of like rub elbows with the enemy, but that's not what the prophet is saying. The prophet is speaking along the lines of confidence, like it is so. And, you know, his people, the Moors, would have been established by now. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting from it. And I yield the floor. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, Islam. And it go back to when I told y'all, back to when we got invited by the Iranian community for this vernal equinox celebration. And the mayor from San Clemente, back to that, right? He came up to us and I asked him, like, we need to get a proclamation like Reggie L's trying to do over there in Arizona. Like, we need a proclamation for the city of San Clemente, similar to the ones that's already in 8 different mayor's offices. And he was like, is it a Moorish community in San Clemente? He wanted to know if it was a body like this. That was his first question.
That was his first question.
His first question.
How many of y'all?
Yeah, how many of y'all is there in San Clemente? Because it's strength in numbers. That's why the Vietnamese community, Little Saigon, back to us, I bring this up. They got power right now. Noble Drew Ali, this is Morocco. He in his own land, got his people in his own land, knowing who they are. If it's foreigners doing that today, it's still power. It's power, just period. No matter if you're from here or not. If it's people on the same page in thousands, you're gonna get business done. It's not gonna be no homelessness. You got your own grocery stores. You don't care what corporate America doing, corporate United States. You don't care what they're doing because the people, Little Saigon, Chinatown, they don't care if Walmart crashed today. Why? They got their own grocery stores. Right. It's power in that. That's what we got to get back to. That's the bottom line. National standards.
Correct. And that's what the prophet's saying, brother. That's what I don't know the brother with the thing on his head that was asking you the questions. That's what the prophet's saying, bro. We got to rise up. You know what I'm saying? The prophet did it without the internet and all that, and it had 3,000 dudes in that one picture. You know what I'm saying? It can be done again. You know what I'm saying? Just have faith. The enemy putting that negative energy in you and you starting to question a lot of things, man. Stay on the path, brother. Islam.
So it's divine, you know.
Okay, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I was thinking that when it said something about voting, I was thinking it's talking about like elected officials, like in the community and like
Nah,
presidents and stuff.
like how the prophet had the guy, the congressman in a position, like, you know, infiltrating everything. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of
Right.
thing he was talking about. We are, unfortunately, we don't have nobody in Congress or nothing that's a moral. So yeah, we up against a lot, bro, but we can't lose the faith. We got to stay strong.
But that's why I
And
was going to
also,
ask a question. I wanted to ask a question.
hey, go ahead.
What was the ancient way where they cataloged? I know they looked at our zodiac, but how do we catalog our skills so that, you know, when the time comes, we can put ourselves in the particular position to be able to, you know, benefit each
It'll
other
be
in
divinely
our
done, brother.
organization.
Yeah,
The Most High have His hand in it to be divinely done, brother. When we organize and get strong, everybody will know their strong points and their strongholds. Trust me, bro. It'll lay right out like a spade's hand. Trust me.
So don't worry
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Don't worry. See, that's the negative energy getting. When I first started this, because it's something I ain't used to. I'm going against the machine that I done cranked the fucking, oh, excuse me, cranked the wheel for all my life, 44 years, bro. Nah, don't do that. Stay fast, brother. Brother Mafia got the light, and we all got the light in this chat right now. We got to stay strong, man. We up against a lot. That's why doubt come in. Stop living in fear. I keep saying that in a lot of chats. Stop living in fear. Fear brings on a lot of stuff, man. You know understand? We in the dojo right now. Everybody got to be like strong. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like,
sir. That's why I'm asking,
like
because I
that's
want
real, bro. And
It
I've,
was
be
I've been in
clear.
the game like 6 months under
Uh,
Mafia. You hear what I'm talking? I'm telling y'all, man, stay steadfast, man.
Islam, Islam, and
um,
and one thing I wanted to
Thank you,
bring
bro.
up, one thing I wanted to bring up for losing my train of thought is see this title right here, First Annual Convention, 1928. This was a
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 day, no, 6 day event. This was a national convention. This is a government structure for the Moor. This is a Moorish national convention. So who was there? Congressman was as a guest. They was invited to this Moorish government structure, right? So they weren't saying they were United States citizens. This is the first annual convention for the Moorish Science Temple of America. This is a national convention. This is government. This is government. This is government to government. Because you see in the background, it's the Moorish flag and the Star Spangled Banner being waved in the background, synonymous to the treaty. So this is one government and another government, right? It's not, oh, we're U.S. citizens. So I wanted to highlight that too. This is the first annual convention, not for the state of Chicago.
And the 5% nation, the Nation of Islam, all them people would not be here if it wasn't for the Noble. They wouldn't even exist. Clans 13X, all them. 5% nation, Nation of Islam, what's the other stuff that they be doing? Where they wear the fez, but it's not us. The Shriners and all them people. All that came from Noble Jew Ali, bro. Do the research, bro. I'm telling you. That was the real true prophet that came here, bro. Everybody else is imposters because the Nation of Islam is in cahoots with the government. That's why they still doing everything they doing right now. That dude that they call, what's his name? The prophet Farad Muhammad. He was in a picture with Noble Jew Ali. Come on, man. We
Yeah,
gotta
see that.
realize that this is it.
Hey, and to somebody brought up the Nation of Gods on Earth. I think that was you, Brother Hassan. But look in their book, on Section C. What's their most famous book? But Section C of that book, it talks about how Clarence X got his information from Noble Joe Ali. They say it. It's in there. Section C of that book.
Clarence
I
X
got the book.
left
It
the
do say
Nation of Islam and started the 5% nation. Like I'm telling you, prophet, bro.
Oh, somebody got the
here.
book.
Us little that are assembled, we are here to bring that back alive, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Somebody got the book in the chat. Somebody said they got it.
I got the book.
Okay, go to section C.
Yeah,
Are you already found it? Are you know the
hold on, I
section?
gotta go grab it.
Okay, well, you grabbing that.
Clarence X. That is
No, Clarence 13X. He was under the Nation of Islam, and he parted ways with the Nation of Islam and started the 5% Nation. Him.
oh, okay.
But like I said, and Farad Muhammad was under the Prophet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've seen
You
that.
feel
I've
what
seen
I'm
that.
saying? And the Nation of Islam got businesses, they got schools, they got everything. Everything out the Nation of Islam got. So
I got
we
the
up
book right
against a
here.
lot. We got a big job to do.
Yeah,
Because we coming up real. We not coming up fake. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah. Go to section C of that book, Cal L. And peace and love, Justin Bay, man. Peace and love.
Section C. Talking about W.F. Muhammad.
Master
this is
Farad
section,
Muhammad. Yeah.
in section 2, it says, I came to the wilderness of North America by myself. Master Farad Muhammad, like the brother says. So he says he implies he came as a free man of his own free will. His first appearance was in 1910. He said to have come in contact with Noble Drew Ali, Moorish Temple of Islam.
Come
His
on.
second coming, his second coming, July 4th,
Drop the mic, bro.
1930. It says, no, it is said he proclaimed the incarnation of the Noble Drew Ali. This is when he began to teach the knowledge of God here in North America. He set up his first temple in Detroit, many followers as 8,000. Excuse me, he has as many as 8,000 followers between 1930 and 1934. He disappeared in 1934. And that's the book right there.
And if that don't make you beat your chest, what would, bro? I'm just saying.
Right. And who book is that? That's the 5%er book, right?
Yeah, I got this on Amazon.
Right. So and the reason he's telling it like that is because, like the brother said, he left the Nation of Islam, started the 5%er. So now he blowing the whistle on FOI and the crew, right? He, all this coming up, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's exactly what's happening, Ma.
You know what I mean?
Well, all praises due to the Most High. We done with that hiccup. Let's continue.
Let's get back to it. That's funny, man. All right. So not good. Nah, these questions is important, man, because it's recorded and all this stuff. It's people that need to know this information. So thank you for all the statements and things of that nature, because it forces us to explain and go down these roads. So hence comes Moorish Freemasonry renewal. Well, Moorish Rite Freemasonry, or Freemasonry as was practiced by ancient Moors. And that's what I'm emphasizing is, yeah, we came up with that whole concept of orders and stuff, but we was giving people the light. We wasn't, spoon feeding people and doing deceptive things because we're looked at as these are the nobles, these are the Moors. So that, people look to the Moors for guidance and all type of stuff, man. Once you looked at as a person that knows knowledge, people are gonna be coming to you. And you can either do humanitarian things or you can do dark magic. It's up to you, right? All right. So owes its presence, their existence to the late ill. Most sovereign commander of the Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Actually, I actually need to read this paragraph. They're talking about basically the origin of how, but we basically got that concept. We get it. But also to add on to his brother, Dr. Alim Bey, he's a Moorish Rite, and he has that structure in his temple where, he makes it known like it's the Moorish Rites. Like he has the whole order, the whole the whole drip where it looks like a Masonic lodge, but it's a he not a he's doing that for his how he chooses to wake the people up into this information and distinguishing, So it looks if you're not trained in like how I'm talking, you'll think he's part of a Scottish Rite or something. But he's calling it the Moorish Rite. Uh, so Pharaoh Thutmose, most people Moses in the Bible, but that originates from Thutmose III, who ruled Tamaray from 500 to 1447 BC, organized the first esoteric school of initiates founded upon principles and methods similar to those perpetuated today by the Rosicrucian Order, AMORC, Astara, and other secret societies. Decades later, Pharaoh Amenhotep IV was initiated into the secret school. The most enlightened pharaoh history's first recorded monotheist was so inspired by the mystery teachings that he gave a completely new direction to craft Amun-Ra's, or Egypt's religion and philosophy. He established a religion which recognized the Aton, or solar disk, as being the symbol of the sole deity, the foundation of life itself, the symbol of light, truth, and joy, and changed his name to Aton, to reflect these new ideas. And although the earlier religion was later reestablished, the mystical idea was put forth in human consciousness, and its flame never died. Pharaoh Ankh is credited with establishing Freemasonry. Queen Nefertiti of ancient Kemet reigned alongside her husband, Pharaoh Akhenaten. I can't talk right now. I got dyslexia today. Around 1380 through 1362 BC, Queen Nefertiti is credited with founding the Freemasons' adoptive rite known as the Order of Eastern Stars. That information was provided by the most Hussein Sovereign Grand Commander, Clifford Hazel. And this was actually a Scottish Rite guy. This is what they talk about in their orders. And the reason we're talking about that, so you can know, or we can know, that they know the origin of even their orders come from highly melanated men and women, known as Moors, that had empires and societies. They know they came from us. They talk about it in their higher up circles. The whole thing is to keep you asleep. They take a death oath not to tell you the truth, but they know the truth. Albert Pike, 33-degree Mason, in his book Morals and Dogma, page 64, refers to the ancient mysteries and Freemasonry as being identical, with exceptions found only in that part of progressive alterations, as all ancient mysteries, independently examined, would be a timely and spacious task. It is only necessary to expound on the mystery religion which Masonry itself is true, or deems true. Egypt has always been considered as the birthplace of the mysteries. So once again, we know it's a misnomer. So the land of the Moors, wherever the Moors were at, established kingdoms and empires, was always known as the birthplace of mysteries. It was there that the ceremonies of initiation were first established. It was there that truth was first veiled in allegory, and dogmas of religion were first imparted under symbolic forms. That's a quote from this Encyclopedia of Masonry, heading Egyptian Mysteries. So our people, we know that term Roman and Greek started creating allegories out of the books, and even before that, our people just in general. Because when you just face it, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, that's still allegory. These are still, figures and symbols that represent, either aspects of life, different disciplines, where you gonna go in the afterlife based on your karma on earth. These are all just glyphs to explain something. So it's still allegory. But it was allegory more in the sense of getting you to your higher self versus all this, how it is now with Jesus and all that, how it went down to another level, dumbing the people down. But allegory, we created it though. So it's all about just knowing the levels. That Book of the Dead is something. Oh yeah. Egyptian Book of the Dead. Probably another reference. Oh, Islam, Tazamachiel. Let's see.
Islam Morris.
Let's see here. In Egypt, another reference. In Egypt, Cradle of Ancient Masonry by Norman Frederick. Another book reference. Goes to great lengths to show that Freemasonry extends all the way back to the ancient Egyptian mysteries. Stellar Theology and Masonic Astronomy, another book reference by Robert Brown Jr. Quote, the mysteries of all the other nations were quite similar to those of Egypt and were no doubt derived from them. And the reason it's good to have all these type of books is so we can have reference points for the people. Remember, we're just using this as teaching springboards. Master Mason Salami Isendag explains the origins of this philosophy and its place in modern masonry. Quote, in ancient Egypt, there was a religious society that bequeathed a system of thought and belief to Hermetic principles. Masonry held something similar to this. For example, those who had come to a certain level attend ceremonies of the society, revealed their spiritual thoughts and feelings, and trained those who were at a lower level. Pythagoras was a Hermeticist, trained among them. Again, the organization and the philosophical systems of Alexandrian school and of Neoplatonism and their origins in ancient Egypt. And there are some significant similarities between them and Masonic rites. Freemasonry is a social and ritual organization whose beginnings go back to ancient Egypt. So we just went through about 7 pieces of reference that talks about this space of how Freemasonry, the origin, come from the Moor. No, they might be saying ancient Egyptians, but we know what's going on. When you were in the Fez, like the brother said in the beginning, brother Ramik, the brother still in here. Oh yeah, brother Ramik Bey just got his Fez. He been walking out and about. He's going to get hit with questions as the weeks go on. Are you part of the Shriner? He may get. Are you the Shriner? You need to know how to address that. You know, you need to know how to address that with scholarship, with intelligence.
Islam.
You know, that's why we're going through this. We want to be ambassadors, polished ambassadors. The European mostly acquired the knowledge they got from the Nile Valley through invasions, war, plundering, murdering, robbing, and grave robbing. So they were not trained into higher understanding with mysteries. And those who were actually taught by the ancient Egyptians, like Ptolemies, the early Greeks, which, by the way, the early Greeks were tribes of Moors called the Minoans and the Etruscans. The Minoans and Etruscans were commercially called Greek. These were Moors that were part of the Byzantine, end up turning Roman, and they end up going against us.
Hey, I got a question.
Go ahead.
I was seeing some information a while back that Greece was originally belonged to Moors. Is that what type of books or like references can we look up for that information?
So if you look up any book dealing with the Minoans or any book dealing with the Etruscans.
Can you type that in the chat?
Okay, let me just let me see. Trust. Okay. Trust. So that's a big example. Etruscan civilization created by the Etruscans, the people who inhabited Etruria in ancient Italy. Gotta be one clan, the Etruscan.
Okay, cool.
So you can look, it's books on this that go in depth into the Etruscans and the Minoans. And the other one's called Minoan. Let me see. Minoan civilization. And these are our people. Look how dark they are. I didn't even, this is the first time I even looked it up like this, but look, you see they dark. And they got Slavs
Right.
with them. See the Slavs? See they got Slavs with them? All the Moors have Slavs with them. Even our Greek Moors. I mean, like I said, the Minoan are people that end up turning Christian later and all that. But so yeah, the Minoans and the what's the other one I said? Etruscans. Those like the main what they call quote unquote Greek. Our tribes of Moors. All right. Okay, so okay. So Greeks, etc. We're only taught the basic. So before I continue, so the European Masons, they don't even have the high science. They just got 33 degrees. They don't even got the 360 because they got the information through plundering and pilgrimage and colonization. So they didn't get the science. They just got the symbols and they put it together the best they can. But they don't really have the, even the higher ups, the highest level, don't really know the whole entire thing like the actual Moor would that's in the culture like that and studying Moor science in depth. They got little understanding from their plundering and grave robbing of the Egyptian mystery system. It was the Moors in the Middle Ages between 710 and 1610 who were the ones responsible for educating the European with basic knowledge of the Nile Valley mystery system. Stolen Legacy by George M. James tells us that there was a Grand Lodge of Tamaray or Kemet or Egypt called the Temple of Karnak that chartered and commissioned lodges or schools in other lands. And the founders of these lodges were initiates in the Tamarayan or Egyptian mystery system or Freemasonic or Freemason order. Some hierophants, hierophant is just a magi or a high priest, went to other lands, taking with them this knowledge. No matter where the hierophants opened lodges, the Grand Lodge of Tamaray was still in authority and controlled the lesser and the greater mysteries. Ancient subordinate lodges of the ancient Grand Lodge of Egypt recorded by G.M. James are Native Americans. So look, now we're going into this. We're going in depth. So who was the high priest in America? Who was the ones keeping the mystery systems in America? Olmecs, Mayans, Aztecs, Incas, Toltecs. These was our people, right, preserving the knowledge in America. But all over the world, we had the same system. It's bodies of Moors that we had high priests amongst the government structure. Look, I just said it. That's crazy. Look, great. Minoan. This Manoa is why I'm the tribe Minoan, later called Greek. This is why I say it's divine because what we just talked about, all you gotta do is scroll down a little bit and we ready to receive. This is how we know we're on the right page universally. You
That's
can't make
crazy.
you can't make this up. You
He
can't make this up, man.
did that.
Like Athens. So when we think about the Olympics and the alchemetic metal of the sun, the alchemetic metal of the moon, the alchemetic metal of Venus, first place, second place, third place, gold, silver, bronze, or copper, right? These are our Greek Moors that knew the high science and used that, implemented that in the Olympic Games to distinguish first through third place, right? Moorish science, right there. You just thought it was a gold medal. You just thought it was a silver medal. They just coming up with these things just arbitrarily. Just all gold, like, you know what I mean? I just want to throw that in there. So in all these areas, we had adepts. All these areas. Socrates, father of Western philosophy, Aristotle, Euphrates, Homer, Herodotus, Pythagoras, etc., all received their knowledge from the Egyptian or Tamarian or the Moor priesthood, Moorish priesthoods called the ancient mysteries, i.e. the temple universities of Waset and input in Sut. When you read the Egyptian Book of the Dead, you'll start seeing these type of lingo, waset, input, inserts, etc. Note, these Greeks may have never existed, at least according to Professor Walter Williams in his new book. He states that these so-called Greek philosophers did not actually physically exist. We know they didn't exist, right? Because we know these are talking about planets. If we're really studying, we know we're talking about Zeus and all these Greek gods. When you do the knowledge, it's talking about planets. So they didn't exist.
So you
Nevertheless,
saying the philosopher Plato didn't exist? That's what you're saying?
no, I'm saying uh, Zeus will be, what is Zeus to y'all? Who would Zeus be? Before we talked about
Oh,
it, who was that? Who
spook,
was your,
yeah.
Jesus, the sun god.
The
no,
Greek
no,
spook.
no, I'm talking about, see, y'all, that's for people that's been studying a little bit. They won't even say that. I'm talking about, like, who are we
The
talking?
force.
Mythology.
Jupiter is the force. He's like expansion. He's like lightning.
Y'all too Spartan here, man. I'm talking about,
He's the king of he's like the most high, basically. He's like the leader of all the gods, correct? Is that what you getting at?
yeah, he's a Greek guy, right? He's a person. That's how they
Oh,
portray him, right?
As he was real. As he was a.
Right. That's what I'm getting at.
Mm.
But he's really representing the planet. He's not a real person.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
well, wasn't back in that day there was only 7 planets, right?
Well, I know that there's 7 ruling planets, but it's 10. Like if you're dealing with the Milky Way, where the Earth is at, we're in the Milky Way, so it's 10 planets in the Milky
Are
Way.
you asking me?
Oh no, I was breaking up. No, I'm saying Earth, we're in the Milky Way. That's what galaxy we're in, and we have 10 planets. 7 of those planets affect humans. That's why the 7 Elohim and stuff like that. And then the other planets will be what you call octaves, such as Neptune and Pluto and Uranus, which would enhance certain aspects. But is that kind of the space you were talking about? That's what you're asking me as far as.
Well, yes and no. Well, I was thinking that back in like the Middle Ages, I thought there was only like, I may be wrong, so don't quote me on it, but I thought there was only like 7 planets known, including the sun and the moon. They counted as planets.
Oh yeah, I heard something like that like a while back. But yeah, but it is 10 planets. But um, most people deal with the 7 because, like I said, those are the ones that really affect human beings, like mentality, their impulses, their behavior.
Yeah.
You know. And so on another tip, I guess is well, I'm talking. I guess my point with bringing up the Greeks too was just know that these on another level are blind hair, blue eyed people that learned from the Egyptians like that. They did, but when you look at it like that, you're gonna think these are blind hair, blue eyed people. So the Greeks were just us. Um, you know, that wanted to do their own thing, but they still wanted to learn from their original creed and just spin it a little bit, right? And then they gave that to their Slavs, the remix.
Yeah, it's a lot of rebranding going on.
Yeah. Remember, we
So,
all had Slavs. See,
so
saw the Slavs. That's crazy.
I have a
Hey,
question.
Marv, you were saying like certain planets affect certain behaviors or whatever. So does that kind of like mean like that's where our origin, our entity comes from is one of those planets, being that they affect us? Is that something to take into consideration or to study?
Yeah, because we both Virgo, right? So our ruling planet is Mercury. That's why we like to communicate. Our mind is always working. We're very critical. Our mind is always analyzing something like, why this happened? Why this moving like that? We want to get to the bottom of it.
That's true.
Um,
And it's a
so that,
gift and a curse for me. You feel what I'm saying? It's a gift and a curse.
yeah, it is because we have to find a way to find some peace and decompress. So that's why yoga is good for us. Strict diet is good for us. being around a relaxed environment is very good for us to recharge our batteries because we always on go mode. We always, you know what I mean? Mine always
Yeah,
work
that
right.
is true. I really find satisfaction in the simplicity of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, like sitting outside, the breeze blowing in a nice chair and chilling, enjoying nature, stuff like that. That brings me peace and serenity.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about. And that, yeah, so Mercury will be an example of the planet that affecting us. Um, everybody has a ruling planet. I just did a demonstration on well, we did it last week. We did the 7 Elohim. We broke down one of them, which was Michael, was one of the 7 Elohim or the 7 archangels. And the characteristics of Michael was having courage and strength. And then we looked up Leo, courage and strength. We looked up the ruling planet of Leo, the sun, courage and strength. Michael represents the sun. It's that simple, right? And we can go down the whole 7 and do the compare. Yeah, everybody can do it. You know, go down to every archangel and then take it one archangel at a time or one Elohim at a time. What's the characteristics of this Elohim or this archangel? And then go, what's the ruling planet of Venus? Or you're gonna see. And it's that simple. And you know, people that be in the Bible, they vibrate with certain things, but they might not know the full situation. So us as the more gonna help them. Okay. I think we get the point with all this. Any statements, questions? Because this is what my main point was to highlight in this demonstration was the Greeks, the specific tribes of the Greeks, so we can kind of go in depth. And
I
then
actually
once
wanted
you
to
go,
ask the question. My bad.
go
It's
ahead.
mainly about Greek mathematics because they propound that like Greeks, you know, they developed arithmetic and geometry, which is the foundation for like the modern natural sciences. But I've done a little bit of research, and some of the titles say Muslim, you know, us. So that means they had their knowledge passed beforehand. So I'm just trying to find the source, and some books would be nice. Do they talk about any of the Greek origins of mathematics?
Yeah, the same way I told Kaliel, you can look
Yeah,
up, just go to the any books on
Minoan
the
tribes.
Minoans. Yeah,
Okay, all right then.
and also Etruscan too.
Mhm.
Those like the two main ones. Um and I also wanted to cover the space dealing with the Hebrew, the concept of the Hebrews. So are Hebrews Moors? Yes and no. Yes, because Hebrews are dark-skinned people, but no, because Hebrew was a language, not a tribe or people. This happens all too often as our Reconstructionalist friends argument the truth to widen the commonality of nationality between different Moorish tribes. Such is the case with so-called Arabs, which comes from the language of Arabic. Technically speaking, anybody that speaks Arabic can claim to be an Arab. Also, Algonquin, which is a conglomerative or consolidation of indigenous Moorish tribes who speak it. Algonquin is the language they shared, so colonizers start to identify them as Algonquin. This is why they can't find major Hebrew cities over in the East, because those things are mostly in America. And it's another book reference called When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler. Excellent book on showing how America is the ancient Egypt that they talk about. When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler. Um, Hebrew is an indigenous American language. Hebrew is an indigenous American language. As a matter of fact, James Adair, author of History of the American Indian, wrote over 23 different arguments to support his findings that the so-called American Indians are ascendants of the tribe of Israel. In the book Secret Places of the Lion by George Hunt Williamson, he plainly states that Canaanites and Israelites are the same people. This is why the narrative of the Bible has been twisted to pit the Israelites against the Moabites for esoteric reasons of higher and lower self. If you don't believe the Bible has been veiled, please research the Council of Nicaea, 325 AD. Lastly, you can read in a great book called Mysteries from the Forgotten World by Charles Berlitz. Another reference, Mysteries from the Forgotten World by Charles Berlitz, about the abundant Phoenician, Carthaginian, and Hebrew artifacts found all throughout the Americas. And we covered that too. The Phoenician, because like I say, the Olmecs are loosely referred to as Phoenician. The Canaanite, Egyptian, and Cretan artifacts also found in the exact same regions. And another reference, in Robert Silverberg's book, The Mound Builders of Ancient America, he states that the mound builders are the lost tribes of Israel. Most of these references are not new and actually pay homage to the fact that most scholars understood that America had been populated by the Moors prior to the 1900s. Thus, I leave this subject with this last proof from an 1864 work called The Indian Races. Another reference, The Indian Races of North and South America by Charles Brownell. On page 15 of this classical work, it states, quote, some theorists have indefatigably followed up the idea that we are to search for the lost tribes of Israel among those red men of America and have found or fancied resemblances otherwise unaccountable between Indian and Hebrew words, ceremonies, and superstitions. Others have exhibited equal ingenuity in carrying out a comparison between the Moors of Africa and the Americans, claiming to establish a near affinity in character and complexion between the two races. They suppose the Moorish spread over the whole continent. So these are references. Now let's deal with the term Asiatic, because we're going to get that too. Or we would need to be able to explain why are we saying we're Asiatic. We kind of covered this last week. Many times our illustrious prophet calls his Moors Asiatic. This is because we have a divine origin story in the lands we call the Orient or orientation. That's where you get Oriental. Through Utah-Nepotism or Noah, that I will not go into in this edition. Esoterically, we are Asiatic because the whole world was once called Asia. And since we were the first, Asiatic infers those woolly-haired, dark-skinned, and broad-nosed people we appear as today. Etymologically, Asiatic derived from the Hebrew word Asia, which means the world of action. Based on the Moor's fall into the plane of flesh, action or manifest. And it's a reference to a Bible verse. Since we are spirit beings that fell into flesh or the world of action, Asia, right? World of, in Africa, Africa and Asia mean the same thing etymology wise. Go back to the world or earth.
Even I have a question. Well, not a question, a statement. Even in the high level Jewish faith, I think they call the world of action Asaya, which is like close to the word Asiatic. That's crazy in the world of action.
But they just pronouncing it Asaya, A-S-I-A. They're just choosing to
mixing
pronounce
it
it
up.
that way. Yeah, it's
Rebranding.
Asia. Yeah. It's just a dialect. I mean, you could say Asaya. I'm just saying it's the same thing though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're just throwing you off with the dialect. Okay, so since we term Asiatics as a reference to being the people present at the time of the great earthquake of Noah, which divided the continents. The evidence of this term applying to Moors can be found in the term Semitic, as it appears in the 7th edition Collegiate Webster Dictionary. Semitic, of, relating to, or constituting a branch of Afro-Asiatic language family that includes Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic, and Ethiopic. Now, in the same dictionary, it defines African or American Asiatic. This dictionary literally says Afro is synonymous with African, American, and Asiatic. So, who are the only people on the earth who are known to wear the Afro hairstyle naturally? All right, so this is just cross-referencing information that we can use for the people, right? So when we're dealing with Semitic, that's what they say the Jews are. So anybody saying an anti-Semitic slur, that mean they're basically bashing the Jews. The Moors are the Semitic people. So let's let that sink in. Any thoughts, questions on this space as far as Asiatic? Because these are we're going over stuff that's common thing that you're gonna get from the people. You know,
The Noah, Uta Napatis. How do you spell that? What type of foundational text can I go to get that language, that type of language, that name of Noah?
We're on the other page.
It says,
the previous page.
Yeah, from the previous page, I believe. I'll just go up a little bit. Let me see. He says, reconstructions.
Can you put the name of this book in the chat?
A Hidden Nation. It's called A Hidden Nation.
Where is it? Let me see.
Maybe it's over here.
Because they use a specific name. I wrote it down. I wanted to ask you about it. Oh, I think it's this one. Let me see. Yeah, right there.
Oh, there. Okay, yeah. Napatis.
Uta Napatis. Yes. Where
Yeah.
can I find a reference for that? In language, literature, culture, it doesn't matter.
You could just literally, you can just do
type it in the search bar.
Yeah, and just go down a rabbit hole. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
for sure.
Yeah.
So the term anti-Semitic in what we deal with today is crazy. Like that's kind of like you said,
right?
How they doing Kanye and everybody really, but he really talking about himself. If he were to label himself as more, hey, you hate yourself, or that's wild.
Hey, brother Murphy.
Yep. Islam.
I was seeing I'll send you a video a while ago on Taj Tariq Bey when he was saying that Hebrew is really Ibri and Jew is really Yahudi.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on that as well?
Oh yeah. There was no J, so it's not Jew. And it really comes from Yehudi or Tuhudi, which was a mind frame. So a Jew or back, what is Tuhudi? What did Tuhudi represent?
Wisdom or scribe or something like that, right? To write and things like that.
That's both, right? And he is like knowledge, wisdom, scribbling. Like you said, scribe.
Right. So Yehudi is one that knows knowledge. What is a Gnostic? One that knows knowledge. One that knows all the ologies, all the inner workings of the earth. Anything you could think of scientifically, herbal wise, like I say, counseling, anything you could think of, government structure. One that knows all knowledge will be considered a Jew or right? Because it's not a nationality. But who are the Jews today? Would be, it just knows the people that know knowledge. It has nothing to do. And the first people on the planet that knew the knowledge was the Moors. Now today, the Moors are asleep. In the Ashkenazi Jews that are running everything today are the ones that know knowledge more than our people that are asleep.
Right.
That's it.
I got a question pertaining to that.
I'll go ahead, brother.
So pretty much like what I've been seeing and just like putting together was like after the war and after the Yakub experiment, after they're created and kind of got brought into civilization to take over through Christianity and rebranding the people, and then there's this this study of where I come from, so they need to study that life science and the death science. And that's where I think like they've been holding the key to the out, and it's like they flipped us to where we're getting used for the out, but we don't know that, hey, there's a way out because we got that higher being. And it's like, is it the death secret, that they keeping away from us? How to transition properly with the power that we have.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it's like that full understanding of life once you're born and life at the end. Because if we spend 65 years working jobs, we'll never understand what it is to actually do that type of stuff. It's just the enjoyment of the material world. That's what I've been realizing. It's like you'll never have the time to get it. And then if there's a system of understanding the energy that's around people, somebody knows the information how to harvest it.
Yeah, and you just said it. Your intuition took you to a space
Yeah.
that's the thing. They wanna distract us with the sports, the stuff that don't matter.
Yeah.
So our attention span is shot. We don't even. There's some
Yeah.
people, once you start talking like this, they start getting sleepy. Like you can tell their attention span. They can't handle reading more. Like how we going to a 2 hour meeting? They couldn't handle that. That's
And
too
what I'm
much for
seeing
them.
with it is like this is the beginning for you to understand that, that self from the physical to the universe. And it was also, came across Brother Panic's information too. And it was just interesting just how they connected to the biology and to the cells and things like this. And it was just like the tiniest information that you can conceive, you can conceive the grandest thing as well too. And that just kind of like as above, so below kind of flipped where it's like, we can learn everything about life here, but if there's a guaranteed thing that we looking for that information. And it's like, well, what they doing with this money? They're not going to games all day. They, and I think they're going to look for that information where it's like, hey, I'm buying my ticket. And just from what's been advertised on the socials, it's just like us in their face where they got, they get the attachments from people loving them and they're using that based off of what they studied, which is our information, and applying it to themselves with without the lack of with simultaneously missing the genetics. And it's like now it makes fucking sense. The pressure that we're on and what they're actually going after from our people versus just the mind control. But if you got niggas dying in the street, it's a lot more going on in that if you know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
man.
I'm like, but the science here is definitely where I think like base level people to get in to understand or even get to comprehend that over time. Because it's a lot, but I think like even like I said, like me leading into this is just I'm just thankful my spirit led me into these conversations. But
Yeah,
that's
man.
what I just
Islam,
want to
brother.
say.
Islam.
Wow. Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's what it's about.
Yeah,
Because when you say divine and national movement, that's what makes it divine. That your spirit took you to this arena.
yeah,
Um, and that's what it's about. We've been talking about earlier, like a lot of the mystery schools. This is essentially a mystery school. The Zoom chat right here. They'll call this a
fact.
mystery school. You know what I'm saying? It's just we
You got
getting
to start. Yep.
yeah. You got to get initiated into it, and then you become adept in it. After a while, if you study it seriously,
Yep.
and now you can do service to humanity as a body. A body of us can plot and plan on how we can get this information out, start businesses with each other.
Yeah.
It don't stop us for life. We a clan, and we the high priest right now,
Yes,
at
sir.
real time, right now.
Yep.
Hey,
Islam.
question,
You
question,
got
brother.
Islam.
Islam, brother. So I was thinking um, about Africa, America, Asia, Eurasia, China. They're all feminine names. Is there any reference to that, or any high degree knowledge? Maybe I missed some lessons I don't know if you have already went over that, but it
Well, yeah,
seems like
just
wherever we go and wherever we settle, especially like Tom Ray, there's is that matriarch you talking about that you be talking about?
Correct. Correct.
yep.
Oh,
hmm And then remember, in ancient languages, anything that's spelled with an A at the end is feminine, right? So morena would be the feminine, more feminine, and moreno would be the more masculine. Like you say, everything in with an A, right? So that's another thing. And then the earth itself is feminine because you can impregnate the earth. The earth is feminine, the sun is masculine. The rays of the sun, the electricity is going to pull the life out of the earth in spring. In spring, right?
right.
Like
So
you
that's
said,
the
Earth produces as well, you know, planting.
earth produces
So
plants.
that tell him why they changed it from a patriarchy to a matriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. They don't want you to know the true origin of yourself, and the true origin of yourself, you got to understand the female and understand the wound and understand all that other stuff. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why there's still feminine names for different land masses. That's how they ran stuff. But now, present day, this is how they fed us the lie. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're in the mystery schools right now. Any other thoughts on that? That was my presentation. What I had queued up for today. I was just gonna close out in prayer. But any dialogue, any statements, thoughts, or any level, or anything.
Yes, actually, there's just like a type of direction. I just want to take my personal studies, and I was wondering if you could like lead me towards the correct type of, because we had technology. We were maritime seafaring people, and I wonder how those infrastructures were built, and if they left any clues, in the books or whatnot.
The stuff you seeking, brother, you gotta go visit the Vatican and sneak into the back door, my man.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but like, you know what I'm saying? The stuff you
No, you
trying to
keep
figure
it
out.
100.
My man.
My bad, y'all.
We'll
My
work it.
bad.
I'll work it. I'll work my way.
Yeah, the Smithsonian, man. Check out the Smithsonian. The Library of Congress, man.
I had a question. I don't know if this is, for like when we're not recording or not, but it's pertains to changing my name or getting my nationality card. Similar to what the brother said last meeting, like I'm kind of in, I guess you say both the worlds, as far as still working under my my government given name or citizen name, but can I still start that process and still work under work under that name until I'm, fully ready to detach from that?
Mafia,
Yeah.
I can answer that if you want me to.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, brother. So you know what I'm saying? I'm in your boat too. I work for the government, you know what I'm saying? I work in the shipyards, been in the shipyard industry for about 10 years as a rigger. So right now I'm still using my surname, but this right here, you have to take your time, brother. I know once Mafia hooked you up with that ID card, you're gonna want to be like, rah, but you can't do that, man. You got to get all your jewels in place, get everything together. Starting your nationality is the first step of many, brother. The first step of many. You understand what I'm saying? So, just take your time. You know what I'm saying? Be patient. You know what I'm saying? We in the dojo. Keep being perseverant. Keep coming to the meetings, brother, and everything will lay right into place. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure. Do you already have
And
your nationality card? Is while you working for the government though, or?
yeah, yes, sir. I definitely do. Yes, sir. I do because at the present time right now, that is the means for me taking care of my family. And you know, we are in a movement, but we still have to take care of our families at the same time. You understand what I'm saying, brother? So
Yeah.
until that time comes, you know, because you need to start a business. The only way for you to get rid of the enemy, you got to start your own business and be an entrepreneur in your Moorish name. You understand? And until you work to that goal, you know, you want to be cool, calm, and collected. We're not starting trouble just because we bump into a office here. Don't mean we got to start Malcolm X in them or nothing. We just be cool, calm, and collected. You understand what I'm saying? And everything will fall into place, brother. And I yield the floor. Islam.
Shout out Islam. Appreciate that.
Islam. And to go back to when Noble Jew Ali said old business, new business, new business. You know, you've been working, doing what you've been doing before you even know what a Moor was. So you're not going to disrupt that because, like the brother said, you paying your, you know, you're supporting your family the best way you can. There's no reason to just go crazy like, oh, I'm not doing none of this. I'm not the straw. That's not me. I'm not.
Nah, yeah.
You're gonna get fired. You're gonna get fired, and you're gonna blame the Moorish movement for why you got fired. It's Moorish stuff don't work. You know what I mean? It's it's bigger than that. You know.
It's definitely compelling to jump out the
Strong.
window, but definitely have to just want to know how to move and really from what I understand, I know not to put none of those my Morris name on none of those documents or anything. Like I want to keep that, just trying to keep it separate until I can again start another business and then flourish that way.
Yeah, just keep everything the same, and and like I say, your entrepreneur endeavors turn into something Moorish, and just wing yourself off, man. Just market. And we all, as soon as you come up with a Moorish business, we all here to market that. That's what this is about. We all gonna market your business,
Well, brother, I got my name now, so I know I do want to start that process. Whenever you do have the time and however that just what's the next steps, because I do have the name I would like to go by to start it.
Yeah, just text me to my personal phone your what that is, what your title is, and then we get the paperwork, get some witnesses on there, and then we're gonna seal it with our seals for the temple, and that's gonna be your originals. I'm gonna upload that to our website just so for public record. Some people like to run it in a newspaper, but they charging too much money. We got our own website. It's public record.
That's nice.
Correct.
Hey,
So,
man, what was I gonna say? Oh, do we have to take that test on RV Bay before the process, or
no? That's for your yeah. I mean, that test is designed just to see if you're ready to start exercising law like that, But
okay,
I mean, that's up to you. That you only know that if you're ready for that, and just be wise,
Correct. That's why I'm telling everybody, take it slow, bro. Take it slow because it's a lot of information you got to know. The Empress Taraji just sent me a whole bunch of information via email. I'm learning so much stuff about my vehicle and all this stuff. Like I got to go to like the commissioner of the city and stuff and have my stuff laid out flat when I go to talk to them and tell them I'm not supposed to be registering my vehicle under you. You understand? But it's a process, bro. It ain't gonna happen overnight. Trust me. And me, I'm testifying right now to all of y'all. Sometimes with me working, with dealing with my family and my dog and all that stuff, sometimes I don't have the time to study. You know what I mean? You got to take all that into consideration because you're still working, you're still providing, you're still having to take care of children, you're still having to do things. You understand? You have to study. The brother Larry Bay said a minute ago, he was like 18 minutes on one subject. You'll be an expert in a year. And that's real. You know what I'm saying? You got to study before you step out there. That's what I'm saying. Do not step out there if you don't have all your ducks in a row. and you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, the beat street cops, they don't know nothing you talking about. So you ain't gonna really be heard until you go to like the higher ups in the precinct or maybe in the courts rather. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So you
Right.
have to be very careful. When you get in the courts, that's when you really start talking your SHIT. You understand what I'm saying? Because then they're like, oh shit, ooh, we can't do this dumb bamboozle shit to him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying. Take it slow, brother. I know the energy and the powers there make you want to go raw at everybody who ever lied to you, far as law, my nationality. Me, I'm telling you, I'm learning to humble myself. The Sheik taught me that, to humble myself, because I was that type of person. I'm in the crowd of the enemy. I'm screaming in the middle of them. You know what I'm saying? Just spinning around screaming. I can't do that no more. The noble said, present yourself in a humble, educated manner, and they will give you a favorable reply. Yeah, that was back in the 20s, but we still have to, as we grow and as our light get stronger, you understand? We implement certain things intellectually with our things that we're learning in more of science to move in today's time. Just slow down and get your knowledge right. Now, I'm not saying you ain't the type of brother that read and study stuff 10 hours out the day. If you got it like that, all praises due. But most of us on here that got 9 to 5s, we cannot study as long as we want to. So take your time, brother. That's all I'm saying. Take your time and be patient. Don't let the negative energy get in your head and be like, well, damn, why can't I do this? Oh, damn, why this and that and the third? Take your time, brother, because at the end of the day, it's about each one teach one. It ain't about, oh, I'm a Moor now. I ain't got to pay taxes. I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to do that. Fuck the Lord. Nah, that's not how we move. And I'm not saying you moving that way. I'm just giving an example.
Right.
You understand? Just take your time, brother. Be patient. The fire is in all of us. Trust me. I be wanting to Malcolm X these people every time I see them, but I don't. Because I'm still studying, I'm still learning. I need to be like Moth. When a person asks me any question, I need to be fluent with my answer and confident and calm. No stuttering, no none of that. And I'm not there yet. I can still talk to y'all. Y'all see my energy. This is natural. I was born this way. You feel me? Like, but I'm humble when it comes to this because there's so much to learn. I'm learning so much every time. You know what I'm saying? Just be patient, brother, and I yield the floor. Islam to everybody.
Islam.
Islam. Islam.
Islam.
Islam.
So I'll do one more round for any type of thoughts, statements before we close out in prayer.
Yeah, I'll just say, that was a game ball. They go to brother son. Honestly, his growth, him basically teaching the class today, and honestly, that for sure. In real time, seeing his growth over time, it total like 180. Like you said, he's like hella aggressive, but he's like turning that on his side. So honestly, you brother son for sure. That's hella inspiring. And I yield the floor.
Peace and love, brother.
Islam. Yeah, man. We need everybody. All the elements. All right, so I'm gonna get into the Moorish American prayer, then we'll go ahead and close out. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah, my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Amen. Peace and love, Moors. Hope everybody have a beautiful rest of their week.
Peace and love.
Peace and love, Islam.
Islam.